A new report has come out from the United Nations, and guess what? It's mine and your fault that the climate is burning. Just kidding. No. But in all seriousness, yes, the United Nations IPCC recently disclosed assessment reports that give a stark warning that the warming of the planet is reaching catastrophic levels. The other main aspect of these reports is to point to the human activities that are contributing to the emissions of greenhouse gases that are having the largest effect on the temperature of the globe. These reports also discuss the aspect of those that have contributed the least to climate change are those most vulnerable to its impacts, pointing to areas of Africa, Asia, Central and South America, LDCs, small islands, and the Arctic. People in these highly vulnerable areas are up to 15 times more likely to die in floods, droughts, storms, etc., compared to those in more resilient areas. In summation, these reports are saying that climate change was unequivocally caused by humans, that it will increase premature deaths, and that a substantial reduction in global fossil fuel is needed to combat the problem. I would take these reports a lot more seriously if anywhere in these reports they actually discussed the real causes of climate change, not just making some blanket statement that it's human action. Using this terminology makes it seem like it's because of everyday people that use their cars, turn on their ovens, take a plane ride somewhere. But the fact is that everyday people are not the culprits of our climate crisis. It's big business. Since 1988, just 100 companies across the world have been responsible for 71% of all global emissions. And 20 companies, both corporate and state-owned, are responsible for more than a third of all greenhouse gas emissions. All of these 20 companies are in the fossil fuel industry. Shocker. And burning fossil fuels causes the greatest damage. I didn't see anywhere in these reports discussing this aspect. No, it's just a blanket statement of this is caused by humans. Yeah, it's caused by certain humans that run certain companies that use our political leaders and structures of government to not change their practices, pay small fines if and when made to, usually after some huge catastrophe that affect people for decades and ruins lives. It's extremely unfortunate that so much of the climate conversation is focused on those that have had some but very little to do with the level of extremes that we are at now. Over 7.5 billion people must pay the price so that a couple of dozen polluting interests can continue to make record profits. A great moral failing of our political system that has allowed this to happen. An even more egregious omission from these reports is the complete lack of discussion on military emissions. The US military is one of the largest polluters in history, consuming more liquid fuels and emitting more climate-changing gases than most medium-sized countries. If it were a country, its fuel usage alone would make it the 47th largest emitter of greenhouse gases in the world. More so, since the beginning of the global war on terror in 2001, 1.2 billion metric tons of greenhouse gases have been emitted. That is equal to the annual emissions of 257 million passenger cars, more than double the current number of cars on the road in the US. We can see here how the US military emissions pale in comparison to normal human activities of everyday citizens. This is why it's hard to take these reports seriously when they are lacking any real-world substance. When you're not discussing the impact that militaries have on the planet or the top polluting industries and companies that make up over 70% of the emissions, it feels like they're not taking this seriously or willing to call out the serious nature of where this is really coming from, which makes me super sus. What do you think? Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, hit the like button, subscribe, and share with your friends. Links to all of the articles are down in the description box below, so you can take a look at the full reports and articles discussed in this video. As always, stay safe, take care, and be kind to each other.